we could derive the equation of state for an ideal Bose gas in the previous lecture. Now we are in a state to discuss the most curious phenomenon, most interesting phenomenon reported for a Bose system known as the Bose-Einstein condensation. So we will be considering a gas of n identical, indistinguishable, non-interacting particles with, say, integer spin. That is, we are considering an ideal Bose gas contained in a volume V at an equilibrium temperature T. Now, the particles of the system are not subjected to the Pauli exclusion principle, being bosons, and quantum mechanically their total wave function, the total wave function of the system, is symmetric under the exchange of coordinates of any two particles. Hope you remember in your basic quantum mechanics classes you would have learned that the wave function of a bosonic system is symmetric under the exchange of coordinates of any two particles. And since it is symmetric, even though you exchange the coordinates of any two particles of the system, the wave function will remain as such, or it will not get vanished. Unlike in the case of a fermionic system, where the wave function of the system will be asymmetric or antisymmetric. Now, such a system of non-interacting particles is what we had named as an ideal Bose-Einstein gas or an ideal Bose system. And since there is no interaction between the particles of the system, we know the potential energy of the gas can be taken as 0, and the total energy of the gas is equal to the sum of the kinetic energies of the constituent particles. And as we know, for any system at sufficiently high temperatures, where do we find most of the particles? If there are a large number of energy levels that is accessible to the system, as I have shown in the screen here, at sufficiently high temperatures, we can see that most of the particles of any system, say, these particles would have attained thermal energy, and at very high temperatures, most of the particles of any system, and especially the ideal Bose system that we are discussing now, they will be found in an excited state. So in the adjacent picture here, you can see, let me say that this is the ground state. So this is the ground state. So I have taken energy along the y-axis. Say this is a ground state. You can say, for example, energy is equal to 0. And then let me say that this is energy equal to E1, E2, and so on. Okay, higher energies. So at sufficiently high temperatures, most of the particles of this system, so we are considering an n particle system, so most of the particles in this n particle system will be found in one of these excited levels. There will be so many number of excited levels for a statistical system, but okay, we can say that it will be in one of the excited states. Okay, so most of the energy, we can say that most of the energy of the system will be contributed by the particles in the excited states, right? And the number of particles in the ground state is usually quite small. So as the temperature is increased, the fraction of particles in the excited states will be going on increasing, and the correspondingly the fraction of particles in the ground state will be going on decreasing. Now let's think of the reverse procedure. Instead of increasing the temperature of the system, as the temperature of the system, the bosonic system, is decreased, what will happen? You know, as the temperature of the system is decreased, the total thermal energy of the system should get decreased. And the total thermal energy of the system is actually the summation of the contribution of each of the particles of the system. So what should happen? The particles or the bosons which were earlier in some higher excited energy levels must get de-excited, so that the total energy contribution of the system should be getting what? Decrease. അപ്പോൾ നേരത്തെ ഹയർ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എക്സൈറ്റഡ് ലെവലിൽ ഒരു നിശ്ചിത എനർജി നിലകളിൽ അല്ലെ ഊർജ്ജ നിലകളിൽ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്ന ബോസോണുകൾ സിസ്റ്റത്തിൻ്റെ ആകെ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ കുറയ്ക്കുമ്പോൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വരും? അതിന് താഴ്ന്ന ഊർജ്ജ നിലകളിലേക്ക് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ താഴ്ന്ന എനർജി ലെവലുകളിലേക്ക് ഡി എക്സൈറ്റ് ചെയ്യപ്പെടേണ്ടതായിട്ട് വരും തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും. സോ വി ക്യാൻ സേ ദാറ്റ് ആസ് ദ ടെമ്പറേച്ചർ ഓഫ് ദ സിസ്റ്റം ഈസ് ഡിക്രീസ്ഡ്, ദ പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് begin to reach the ground state. Okay, and the ground state, we can say that the ground state is having energy is equal to 0. So energy equal to 0, and you know that for a ideal non-interacting system, the energy is purely kinetic energies, which I am writing it as EP. Okay, E energy corresponding to momentum P. So EP will be equal to 0 for ground state, and it is nothing but the state with the momentum equal to 0. So the most of the particles will be now beginning to settle down to the ground state. Okay, so for Bose particles, you know, for Bose particle there is no any restriction. So the outer Bose particles and the Fermi particles, you know, since Bose particles need not obey the Pauli exclusion principle, any number of particles can be accommodated in any levels, right? Okay, there is no reservation like. So we can say that the bosons are the most social kind of particles. You know, they will accommodate any number of people in the same level. Okay, due to that particular reason, for Bose particles, what will happen is that at very low temperatures, which is very near to absolute zero, at low temperatures very near to absolute zero, a significant fraction of the total number of particles will be occupying the level with the momentum equal to 0. So at very low temperatures, see, at very low temperatures, which is near to absolute zero, near to 0 Kelvin, means of the order of some say nano Kelvin and all. Okay, so of the order of nano Kelvin. So what will happen that a significant portion or a significant fraction of the total number of particles in the system will be occupying the zero momentum states, and this phenomenon was observed, or this phenomenon was theoretically predicted by the Bose and Einstein statistics. Okay, almost 70 years before it was first experimentally observed, and that is actually the gap between the fundamental prediction of a process, a phenomenon, and okay, it took almost 70 years. Okay, it took almost 70 years to experimentally achieve Bose-Einstein condensation, even though it was proposed so early, as early in, I think, in 1920s. Okay, it was proposed. So the phenomenon, so now we are in a state to just define what is Bose-Einstein condensation, which I have already typed down on the screen for you. The phenomenon of piling up of bosons to zero momentum states. The piling up of bosons to zero momentum states. And zero momentum states means what? The energy, their kinetic energy contribution is also zero, or to the lowest possible energy states. That's the meaning. To the zero momentum states. When does it happen? When a Bose gas is cooled down, when the temperature of the bosonic system is cooled down, to sufficiently low temperatures. As I told you, it happens when the temperature is lowered near to absolute zero, or okay, of the order of some nano kelvins. Okay, so you can see that there is a phenomenon. Now the definition you have got, the phenomenon of piling up of bosons, to zero momentum states when a Bose gas is cooled down to sufficiently low temperatures is what is known as Bose-Einstein condensation. And since the word used here is condensation, there is every possibility that we get misunderstood. Okay, because we talk about condensation of water vapor, right? ഓക്കെ, നമ്മൾ കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ എന്നുള്ള വാക്ക് സാധാരണ ഗതിയിൽ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നത് വേപ്പർ കണ്ടൻസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു, ഓക്കെ, കണ്ടൻസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് അല്ല നീരാവി കണ്ടൻസ് ചെയ്തു വെള്ളമായി മാറുന്നു അല്ലെ ജലമായി മാറുന്നു എന്നൊക്കെ പഠിക്കുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ എന്നുള്ള ഫിനോമിനലിൽ നമുക്കൊരു ഫിസിക്കൽ സ്പേസിലുള്ള കണ്ടൻസേഷനാണ് നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് വരിക. പക്ഷെ ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുക, when we talk about the Bose-Einstein condensation, we don't mean a condensation in the real coordinate space. ഒരു ഫിസിക്കൽ സ്പേസിലുള്ള കണ്ടൻസേഷനെ പറ്റി അല്ല ബോസ് ഐൻസ്റ്റൈൻ കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ പറയുന്നതെന്ന് എപ്പോഴും ഓർത്തിരിക്കണം. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് വ്യത്യാസം? ബോസ് ഐൻസ്റ്റൈൻ കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ ഈസ് എ ടൈപ്പ് ഓഫ് കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ ദാറ്റ് ഹാപ്പൻസ് ഇൻ ദ മൊമെന്റം സ്പേസ്. Okay, so that is what I have already pointed out here. So the Bose-Einstein condensation is a condensation. The word condensation I am putting in quotes. That is happening in the momentum space. എന്താ അതിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം എന്താണ്? ഈ മൊമെന്റം സ്പേസിലാണ് ഈ കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്. മൊമെന്റം സ്പേസിൽ കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ സംഭവിക്കുക എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ മൊമെന്റം സ്പേസിൽ അല്ലേ, മൊമെന്റത്തിന്റെ വാല്യൂസ് എല്ലാം നമ്മൾ മൊമെന്റം സ്പേസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു മാത്തമാറ്റിക്കൽ സ്പേസിൽ രേഖപ്പെടുത്തുകയാണെങ്കിൽ മൊമെന്റം സ്പേസിലെ ഏറ്റവും ലോവസ്റ്റ് പോസിബിൾ മൊമെന്റം വാല്യൂ ആയ സീറോ മൊമെന്റം സ്റ്റേറ്റിലേക്ക് എല്ലാ പാർട്ടിക്കിളും എത്തുന്നു എന്നുള്ളതിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് വിളിക്കുന്നത് ഇവിടെ കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ. കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ എന്നുള്ളതിൻ്റെ ഒരു ലിറ്ററൽ മീനിങ് അടിഞ്ഞുകൂടുക എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. ഓക്കെ, പൈലിംഗ് അപ്പ്, അത് തന്നെ ഇവിടെ വാക്ക് ഉപയോഗിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. പൈലിംഗ് അപ്പ്, അടിഞ്ഞുകൂടുക, ഒന്ന് മറ്റൊന്നിൻ്റെ മുകളിലേക്ക് വന്ന് കൂടുക. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ ഉപയോഗിക്കുന്നത്? സീറോ മൊമെന്റം എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരേ സ്റ്റേറ്റിലേക്ക് തന്നെ എല്ലാ പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസും അടിഞ്ഞു കൂടുന്നതുകൊണ്ടാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇതിനെ എന്ത് വിളിക്കുന്നത്? ബോസ് ഐൻസ്റ്റൈൻ കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ എന്ന് വിളിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ഒരിക്കലും ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു തെറ്റിദ്ധാരണ വരാനുള്ള സാധ്യത പലപ്പോഴും കൂടുതലാണ്. എന്താണ്? ഓക്കെ, ഒരു കണ്ടെയ്നറിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ നമ്മളിങ്ങനെ ഓർക്കുകയാണ്, ഒരു കണ്ടെയ്നറിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ ബോസോൺ ഗ്യാസ്, ഓക്കെ, അല്ല ബോസ് സിസ്റ്റം എടുത്തിട്ട്, ഗ്യാസ് നമ്മൾ വിളിച്ചുകൂടാ, ഓക്കെ, ബോസ് സിസ്റ്റം എടുത്തിട്ട് ഓക്കെ, എന്താണ്, നമ്മളതിനെ തണുപ്പിച്ച് കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ഇതെല്ലാം കൂടെ അവസാനം അടിഞ്ഞു കൂടിയിട്ട് അല്ലെ ഉറഞ്ഞുകൂടി അതിൻ്റെ താഴെ ഒരു ചെറിയ തരി പോലെ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വളരെ നിങ്ങൾ ടെസ്റ്റ് ട്യൂബിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ ഓക്കെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പ്രസിപ്പിറ്റേറ്റ് കിട്ടുന്ന പോലെ കിട്ടുമെന്നുള്ള ഒരു ഫിസിക്കൽ ഐഡിയ ഒരിക്കലും ഉണ്ടാവരുത്. സോ വെൻ വി ടോക്ക് അബൌട്ട് ദാറ്റ് വൺ, വി മീൻ ആക്ച്വലി ദ കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ ഇൻ ദ ഫിസിക്കൽ സ്പേസ് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ റിയൽ കോർഡിനേറ്റ് സ്പേസ്. ബട്ട് റിമെമ്പർ, ബോസ് ഐൻസ്റ്റൈൻ കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ ടോക്സ് അബൌട്ട് എ കണ്ടൻസേഷൻ ദാറ്റ് ഹാപ്പൻസ് ഇൻ ദ മൊമെന്റം സ്പേസ്. Means the particles will be piled up to zero momentum states. So be very, very careful about such a concept. Okay, don't ever have a picture of some particles getting just settled down to the bottom of a test tube or a container. No, it doesn't happen actually. Okay, so it just means that the momentum gets what? Reduced due to zero values, or most of the particles will be attaining a state with what their zero energy or zero momentum. Okay, and for you to note for the time being that we will categorize, or this particular Bose-Einstein condensation phenomenon is regarded to be a type of what is known as first order phase transition. So I hope that you have heard of the classification of phase transitions. There are two categories of phase transition. One is known as the first order phase transition, and the other one is the second order phase transition, that is based on the continuity of the Gibbs free energy. So if you are not familiar about the phase transition nomenclature or classification in your thermodynamics classes, we will be discussing about this classification later in the next module. Okay, so for the time being, you remember that the Bose-Einstein condensation is a first order phase transition. Okay, it's not a second order phase transition, it's a first order phase transition, whose specialities we will explore later. Okay, so the specialities of the first order phase transition is discussed in terms of what you call the discontinuity or continuity in quantities like entropy, the heat capacity, etc. that we'll be doing maybe elaborately in the last module of the course. Okay, so these are the basic things that I have to tell you about what is known as what? The Bose-Einstein condensation. Okay, now let's quickly develop a beginning of or an overview of how can this phenomenon occur theoretically. How can this phenomenon occur theoretically? So we are going to discuss the basic mathematics behind the Bose-Einstein condensation, or how such a phenomenon was predicted as early as in 1920s. Okay, and in order to do that, let's all begin with the standard beginning point of Bose systems, which is nothing but the Q potential. So hope you remember that in the last lecture, in order to derive the equation of state of an ideal Bose system, we started from the same point. That is the Q potential of an ideal Bose gas. Okay, so here also we will start with the same equation, same concept. The Q potential, so you know that the Q potential of an ideal Bose gas, the Q potential of an ideal Bose gas, it is given by, how it's given? Q is equal to log of Z. Q equal to log Z, where Z is the grand partition function, which is further equal to, we can write it as a summation, sum over all possible energy values, logarithm of 1 minus Z the fugacity e raised to minus beta e. So you can refer back to this equation because we wrote this equation commonly for ideal Bose system and ideal Fermi system, where there was a 1 by A and the value of A is equal to minus 1 for what? A equal to minus 1 for bosons, and A was equal to plus 1 for what? Fermions, which we will be taking up later in the next discussions. Okay. Now, since our system is an ideal Bose system where the particles are non-interacting, the energy E is going to be purely kinetic in nature. So the energy is purely due to the momentum that is possessed by the particles. So instead of E, we will be rewriting explicitly as EP. And what is this EP equal to? EP is nothing but equal to what? P square by 2m, right? That is a kinetic energy momentum relationship, right? So since it is depending on the momentum, this summation is better replaced with the momentum value. So it will be rewritten as minus, okay, summation. So it is made specific, momentum value ranging from 0 to infinity, all possible momentum values. That's what we mean. Log, so we'll be making the corresponding change in the summation quantity, that is 1 minus Z into e raised to minus beta EP I am writing. Okay, for EP you can of course substitute P square by 2m whenever it is needed. So let me say that this is my beginning equation to discuss Bose-Einstein condensation. That's equation number 1. Now we already have seen that while deriving the equation of state, or while discussing the thermodynamics in what you call grand partition function, the number of particles in the system is given by, you know, in a grand canonical ensemble, the number of particles is actually varying. Okay, so anyway, the number of particles is related to the grand partition function, number of particles in the system. So even though it is fluctuating, so that is given by n is equal to, so we have used the same equation in the previous lecture also, z dou by dou z of log z. Z dou by dou z of log z, where small z denotes the fugacity of the system and capital Z denotes the what you call the grand partition function. These are all known to you, so that is why I am not introducing, since it's a continuation, right? But see that when you present such things in your university examination or elsewhere, you are supposed to explain the symbols that you are using right in the beginning itself. So for example, when you write equation number 1, you are supposed to mention that where Z is the grand partition function of the system and small z is nothing but the fugacity of the system. All these things you are supposed to explain while you do, and we are not doing it in our present lecture because we are doing it as a continuation where both of us, okay, on both sides of the screen mutually have agreed upon all these symbols throughout. But remember, since you are doing something like a postgraduate course, okay, so you have the freedom to refer to different textbooks, other than what is mentioned in the syllabus, and you even have the freedom actually, okay, to use any other equivalent symbols. So instead of Z, if you are using Q, but you mentioned that the Q, I mean grand partition function, nothing is going to happen. Okay, but usually the question setters will be using those symbols which are what used in your reference textbook or book for study. So be familiar with all the corresponding symbols. So remember, whenever you are using an equation, okay, you try to just say what it is, report what it is, right? So that's what I wanted to mention. So occasionally, so that, or incidentally, so that is Z is equal to. Now you can just substitute for this one. So this is the equation, standard equation for the number of particles in the system. N equal to Z into dou by dou Z of log Z. Now you can substitute for log Z from equation number 1. So that will be equal to Z into dou by dou Z of equation number 1, right? Okay, so that will be equal to minus of, so let me take that minus outside, then that is sum over p, whatever it is, 0 to, okay, then log of 1 minus z e raised to minus beta ep. So this is what is going to happen. Now you can just do this okay, differentiation, partial derivative. It's quite simple. What will happen, you know, it is minus z into, what is dou by dou z of this quantity? So I can just use a summation. That summation is also taken out. So that is sum over p. The dou by dou z of log, that will be equal to 1 divided by that quantity, log x, 1 minus z e raised to minus beta ep. Then you have to take the function rule. So the derivative of this z term, derivative of that z term will be equal to what? Z is gone, so it will be minus e raised to minus beta ep. The coefficient of z will be just retained. So this minus and this minus will be getting what? Plus. Okay. So what will be finally what you will be getting? So this can be written as equal to. So if I want, I can just take the z inside. It's not going to affect anyway. So that is equal to sum over p. Okay. Z e raised to minus beta ep divided by 1 minus z e raised to minus beta ep. This is what I am going to get. So let me do one thing. Let me divide the numerator and denominator by z e raised to minus beta ep, or let me take this numerator quantity to the denominator. Okay, so when you take it down, so it will be coming down. So what will be finally equal to? That will be equal to sum over p equal to 0 to infinity, all possible momentum values of the particles of the system. So numerator will be 1 divided by, so 1 divided by that quantity will be, I will be writing it as z raised to minus 1, 1 by e raised to minus beta ep will become e raised to plus beta ep. So then minus the second time will become 1. Hope it is clear to you. Okay, so this let me call it as equation number 2. Remember here ep is the energy corresponding to the momentum of the particle p. So that is related as p square divided by 2m. That is there with us. Okay, so that is equation number 2. So what is equation number 2 giving? Equation number 2 gives the number of particles having momentum from 0 to infinity, okay, in the system. So that denotes the total number of particles, we can say, having momentum 0 to p. Now let's do one thing for the ease of understanding. Let's divide the number of particles in the system to be two categories. ഈ സിസ്റ്റത്തിലുള്ള ആകെ മൊത്തം പാർട്ടിക്കിൾ n പാർട്ടിക്കിൾ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഈ n പാർട്ടിക്കിളിനെ നമ്മൾ രണ്ട് കാറ്റഗറി ആയിട്ട് തിരിക്കാൻ പോവാം. എങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയാണ്? ഈ n പാർട്ടിക്കിളിൽ ഒരു ഭാഗം എപ്പോഴുണ്ടാവുക? ഏതൊരു ടെമ്പറേച്ചറിലും എക്സൈറ്റഡ് സ്റ്റേറ്റിലുണ്ടാവും. ബാക്കി അവശേഷിക്കുന്ന ഭാഗം എവിടെ ഉണ്ടാവുക? ഗ്രൗണ്ട് സ്റ്റേറ്റിലുണ്ടാവും, അല്ലെ സീറോ മൊമെന്റം സ്റ്റേറ്റിലുണ്ടാവും. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് എഴുതാം let n0 be the number of particles. This asterisk, okay, or this hash symbol denotes number of particles in the ground state. So let me bring up some symbols. Let n0 denotes the number of particles in the ground state, which means what? Particles having momentum equal to 0. And let e denotes excited, denotes the number of particles in any of the excited states. In any of the excited state, it need not be in the nearest, okay, excited state. So in any of the excited states, depending on the total energy, it can be distributed in a number of ways, right? Okay, any of the excited states. Therefore, either the particles will be found in the ground state, or the particle of the system will be found in any of the excited states. Okay, or therefore the total number of particles of the system. How do you write the total number of particles? Total number of particles of the system. Total number of particles of the system can be related as n will be equal to, of course, it will be equal to n0 or n0 plus what? N excited. So let me call that this is equation number 3. It's quite simple logical conclusion. Now, we are discussing the phenomena of Bose-Einstein condensation at very low temperatures. So we have to take the fate of the equation number 2, etc. Under low temperature. So at low temperatures, Let's discuss that. At low temperatures, what will happen? Population of the, what will happen? At low temperatures, the total energy of the system should decrease. So how can it happen? It can happen only if particles in the excited states begin to come down to the lower states, especially the ground state. So population of the ground state will increase. At low temperatures, population of the ground state should increase, right? Or we can say the population of the excited state should what? Decrease by equation number 3, since the total number is conserved. Okay, so low temperature will separate out the particles in the ground state from that of the excited states. So let's rewrite now equation number 3 like this. So therefore let's see, let's do one thing. We can substitute what was our equation for En. So our equation for n is here, equation number 2. Please have a look at the equation for n, that is summation p equal to 0 to infinity 1 by z raised to minus 1 e raised to beta ep minus 1. Let's do one thing. Let's substitute ep equal to 0 here. So what will happen when ep equal to 0, then this ep equal to 0 corresponds to what? ep equal to 0 corresponds to this p equal to 0. So let me go to the next see. So I'm doing it a side work here. So let me do a side work here. When EP is equal to 0, or when for ground state, when P equal to 0, we can say EP is also equal to 0. EP means energy, kinetic energy corresponding to the momentum P. Okay, so this denotes the ground state. So then in that case, let's see what is equation number 2 fate. Equation number 2, it becomes what? I have to write, this is equation number 2 was P summation P from 0 to infinity. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to separate P equal to 0 case, and all other thing is included in the any case. P equal to 0 എന്ന് പറയുന്ന സ്പെഷ്യൽ കേസ് മാറ്റി വെച്ചിട്ട് പിയുടെ വാല്യൂ 0യേക്കാളും ഗ്രേറ്റർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള എല്ലാ ടൈമിനെയും നമ്മൾ മാറ്റുവാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ഈ ഒരു ഇക്വേഷൻ നമ്പർ 2നെ രണ്ടായിട്ട് വേർതിരിക്കാൻ പോവാണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിൽ നമ്മൾ P equal to 0 എന്ന് കൊടുക്കാം. ഓക്കെ, സോ വാട്ട് വിൽ ബി ഇക്വേഷൻ നമ്പർ 2 ബിക്കമിങ്? സോ n വിൽ ബിക്കം n0 അല്ലേ? n എന്നുള്ള ഇക്വേഷൻ എന്തായി മാറും? P equal to 0 എന്ന് കൊടുക്കുമ്പോൾ അതിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ വിളിച്ചത് n0, നമ്പർ ഓഫ് പാർട്ടിക്കിൾസ് ഇൻ ദ ഗ്രൗണ്ട് സ്റ്റേറ്റ്. സോ n0 വിൽ ബി ഈക്വൽ ടു 1 ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ അല്ലേ, എന്തായിരുന്നു? 1 ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ z മൈനസ് 1, സോറി z റേസ് ടു മൈനസ് 1, 1 ഡിവൈഡ് ബൈ z റേസ് ടു മൈനസ് 1, e റേസ് ടു 0 എന്നാ വരിക. e റേസ് ടു 0 1 ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് വരിക 1 ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ z റേസ് ടു മൈനസ് 1 മൈനസ് 1 എന്ന് വരും. ഇനി എന്താ ഇതിന്റെ അർത്ഥം? 1 ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ z റേസ് ടു മൈനസ് 1 എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ 1 ബൈ z ആണെന്ന് നമുക്കറിയാം, മൈനസ് 1. സോ കാൻ യു ടേക്ക് ദ LCM ആൻഡ് റീഅറേഞ്ച്? സോ ഫൈനലി യു വിൽ ബി ഗെറ്റിംഗ് n0 ഈസ് ഈക്വൽ ടു, ഇവിടെ എന്താ വരിക? 1 ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ 1 മൈനസ് z ബൈ z എന്ന് പറയും. ഈ z നേരെ ന്യൂമറേലിൽ കൊണ്ടുപോകാം. സോ ഫൈനലി വാട്ട് യു ആർ ഗെറ്റിംഗ് ഇസ് n0 ക്യാൻ ബി റിട്ടൺ z ബൈ 1 മൈനസ് z എന്ന് കിട്ടും. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഇക്വേഷൻ നമ്പർ 3 ഒന്ന് മോഡിഫൈ ചെയ്യാം. സോ സെപ്പറേറ്റിംഗ് ഔട്ട് ഇക്വേഷൻ നമ്പർ 3, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് n ഈക്വൽ ടു, ആദ്യം നമ്മൾ n0ക്ക് സബ്സ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യാണ്. n0 എന്തായിട്ട് എഴുതാം? ഫിഗാസിറ്റിയുടെ ടേംസിൽ z ഡിവൈഡഡ് ബൈ 1 മൈനസ് z എന്ന് എഴുതാം. z ഫിഗാസിറ്റി എന്ന് ഓർക്കണം. ഓക്കെ, ദെൻ ബാക്കിയുള്ളത് n എക്സൈറ്റഡിന്റെ പ്രത്യേകത എന്താ? അവരുടെ മൊമെന്റം 0യേക്കാളും വലുതായിരിക്കും. അതുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് എന്ത് ചെയ്താൽ മതി? ഇക്വേഷൻ നമ്പർ 2 തന്നെ ഉപയോഗിക്കാം. ഇക്വേഷൻ നമ്പർ 2ൽ P ഈക്വൽ ടു 0 എന്നുള്ളിടത്ത് നമ്മൾ P ഗ്രേറ്റർ ദാൻ 0 എന്ന് കൊടുത്താൽ മാത്രം മതിയാവും. P ഈക്വൽ ടു 0 നമ്മളിവിടെ സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് എഴുതി, n0 ആയിട്ട് എഴുതി. ബാക്കിയുള്ളതെല്ലാം P ഗ്രേറ്റർ ദാൻ 0 ആണല്ലോ. P ഗ്രേറ്റർ ദാൻ 0 ആവുന്ന എല്ലാം എക്സൈറ്റഡ് സ്റ്റേറ്റുകളിലെ പോപ്പുലേഷൻ ആയിരിക്കും. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് സം ഓവർ P ഗ്രേറ്റർ ദാൻ 0. ദെൻ സെയിം ക്വാണ്ടിറ്റി ആസ് ഇക്വേഷൻ നമ്പർ 2, ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് 1 ബൈ z റേസ് ടു മൈനസ് 1 e raised to beta ep, then whole minus 1. So that is how we segregate it. So let me call this one for the time being as equation number 4. Now remember, for a bosonic system in general for bosons there is a relation between chemical potential and the temperature, that is mu is equal to minus kT by En. For boson, this is a relation that you have to remember. and see this relationship has been proved in many of the textbooks. You can just refer back. So see the refer, prove it. So this is for you an assignment. Prove it. So it's a side work that you can do within a couple of steps. For bosons, generally mu equal to minus kT by n. Okay, this is a general relation for bosons. This is general relation for bosons. Remember, the proof has been done in the exercise part of your MCT notes. You can refer to it if needed to save time for the time being. Okay, so anyway, mu equal to minus kT by n. This is the result that I will be using. Now, what is the implication? As the temperature of the bosonic system tends to 0 Kelvin, that's what we have seen, where we expect the Bose-Einstein condensation. So as the temperature of the bosonic system tends to 0 Kelvin, as per this equation, we call it as equation number 5 or something. So equation number 5 says that the chemical potential of the system will be automatically tending to 0. The chemical potential of the system is a function of the temperature for bosons. So mu tends to what? 0, right? So when mu tends to 0, how does it affect the fugacity of the system? Therefore, the fugacity of the system Z, which is defined as e raised to beta mu, right? So the fugacity of the system is defined as e raised to beta mu. Why? Because that is e raised to alpha. It's not e raised to minus alpha. That is the way in which. And what is alpha? Alpha is equal to minus mu by kT, right? Alpha equal to minus mu by kT. So what will happen? It will e raised to minus of minus mu by kT, minus of minus mu by kT. And can you see that 1 by kT is nothing but what? So that will be equal to, I am writing this one. So there are several ways in which you can write this one. It is e raised to mu by kT, and you know 1 by kT is nothing but your beta. So I can write this one as e raised to beta into mu. So several ways you can represent this fugacity. So remember, basically fugacity is equal to e raised to minus alpha, which is further written, and I can write even it as what? E raised to beta mu. Okay, so e raised to beta mu. Now since mu is tending to 0, e raised to beta mu, it will tend to e raised to 0, e raised to 0, sorry, e raised to 0, and it means it tends to 1. The fugacity of the system will tend to 1 at low temperature. And now, how does it affect? How does it affect N0? Okay, you know what is N0? This is our N0, or this thing is our N0, which we have substituted from equation number 3. So therefore, I'm writing, we are always interested in what is going to happen with N0. So N0 is equal to Z, which was equal to Z divided by 1 minus Z. It will be equal to, or it will tend to 1 divided by, Z is tending to 1. 1 minus the denominator Z is also going to be tending to 1. So 1 by 1 minus 1. So that is, see, remember it is not exactly equal to 1. It is tending to 1, right? So the denominator is going to be a very, very low number, okay, very near to 0. So it will be what? It is not 1 by 0. Anyway, it is 1 by a very, very small number, very near to 0. So that will be making N0 almost infinity. So N0 becomes what? Infinity. So what does it mean? N0. What is N0? N0 is the number of particles in the ground state. N0 was defined as the number of particles in the ground state, which is having what? Momentum 0. So what we have concluded is that as the temperature of an ideal Bose system, it tends to very low temperatures, sufficiently low temperatures near to the absolute 0, the number of particles in the ground state will be tending to what? 0. Sorry, the number of particles in the ground state will be tending to what? Infinity. What does it mean? It means that the particles, the boson particles or the bosons will begin to accumulate in the 0 momentum state. In other words, the bosons begins to pile up or condense to the 0 momentum state or the ground state of the system. Okay, and this is the prediction that was made according to the theory of Bose-Einstein statistics well in the year almost 1924. Okay, and this is the condition, or this is the way in which the extraordinary phenomenon of Bose-Einstein condensation occurs, and it is permitted, remember, because of the social nature of the bosons, where they need not obey Pauli principle. Any number of particles can get accumulated to the same state. Okay, and you think of, can such a phenomena occur for a fermionic system even though they are ideal? Can all the fermions settle down to the ground state or zero momentum state? You will see, okay, that answer is no, because it is forbidden by the Pauli principle to have more than one particle in the same quantum state if the particle is a fermion. So that is why we say that the Bose-Einstein condensation is such a curious phenomenon, such an extraordinary phenomenon, shown only by what? The group of particles having integral spin, which we have called and classified as what? Bosons. Okay, so that's about the basic idea of Bose-Einstein condensation and how can it happen theoretically. And one condition we already have seen for the Bose-Einstein condensation to happen. The prime condition is that the temperature should be very, very low, theoretically very near to absolute zero. But even then, for a given system, there will be some critical value of the temperature below which Bose-Einstein condensation can occur. That temperature is known as the critical temperature for BEC, and also there will be some value of what you call the density. You can call there will be some value of the number of particles. Okay, the number of particles that is needed. So we will derive the maximum number of particles and the minimum value of the temperature known as the critical temperature for Bose-Einstein condensation to occur. So that is usually known as the condition for the onset of BEC. Under what conditions exactly Bose-Einstein condensation begins? Okay, and that will be discussed as a separate lecture. Please keep on reading the topic. So hope you can understand. I stop it by once again telling that the Bose-Einstein condensation is the phenomenon of piling up or settling down of bosons to zero momentum states when any ideal Bose gas system is cooled down to sufficiently low temperatures very near to the 0 Kelvin. So that is our BEC. Thank you.